Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now September 19th of 2025, and given that ever since what happened to Jimmy Kimmel just a couple of days ago, after he actually spewed those Charlie Kirk comments, after he spewed those comments about Trump supporters, about MAGA, etc., and really trying to paint it as if Trump supporters were trying to score political points for labeling Charlie Kirk's shooter a specific way, we all know that that backfired completely on Jimmy Kimmel by saying such terrible things. And we know also, one thing about Jimmy Kimmel right now is that ever since he was canceled by not just Nexstar and Sinclair, but also later on by ABC and Disney themselves, there's been a lot of things going on ever since then behind the scenes and in the public eye. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Jimmy Kimmel right now is that we know that he is acting like a child behind the scenes with his communication with Disney CEO Bob Iger, with the board of directors, ABC executives, and among others out there. Those associated with Sinclair and even Nexstar having a very tough time with Jimmy Kimmel. Now, we know one thing about him is that he will act this way until he gets what he wants, and so far it's not working out for well in any way. Now, we know one thing about all of this is that Jimmy Kimmel, at the same exact time, he is trying to salvage whatever's left of his career right now. He is actually crossing his fingers that Disney brings him back on the air, that Sinclair and Nexstar allow him to go back on the air. The problem is, well, they are requesting a series of demands, and until those demands are met, he's not going to go back on the air. So what's interesting here, though, has a lot to do with Jimmy Kimmel's firing. We're going to go into the exact specifics of this because this is actually separate from what happened with the Jimmy Kimmel Live show in isolation. Now, with the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel due to his Charlie Kirk comments already creating a wave of celebrities now, either trying to defend Kimmel or those who are outright calling him out for his behavior, one major development going on now involves more to do with the Kimmel situation and how it recently erupted into chaos. Since Kimmel was canceled by Nexstar, Sinclair, and now even ABC/Disney, a crucial update to this now involves how Jimmy Kimmel recently faced serious punishment from the Walt Disney Company after his recent comments about Trump supporters and Charlie Kirk. This led to Disney CEO Bob Iger and the board of directors to make the ultimate call to fire Jimmy Kimmel from Toy Story 5, where he was supposed to do voiceover work for a brand new side character for the 2026 film. The main reason behind this call is that, for starters, Disney did not want Kimmel's name affiliated with a children's film any longer, and he was set to begin work by the end of November of this year, by the way, for the character codenamed Robbie. This Robbie character, codenamed by the way, that was supposed to be played by Jimmy Kimmel was best described as a smart assistant character, since Toy Story 5 will focus on toys meeting technology to get with the times. Kimmel was recently fired from this entire role after also refusing to apologize to Charlie Kirk's family and friends, and refusing to give any donation to Turning Point and or Charlie Kirk's loved ones, as requested by Sinclair and now even ABC. With his firing from this role, it is already creating a wave of internal struggles between Kimmel and the Disney board of directors, since they are already beginning to see that the chances of his cancellation becoming permanent are rising at a rapid rate as the backlash grows. Now, after his firing from Toy Story 5, get this, a film he was supposed to be in roughly for 20 to 25 minutes for, as a surprise character, is already going to be replaced by another actor, another voice actor. He was supposed to, however, be paid around $7 million for the role. Kimmel is reportedly furious about this development and is trying to challenge that Bob Iger and what the Disney board of directors did and decided to do behind the scenes. Now, guys, let me say one thing about this. Now, I think Kimmel deserves this. I think that what Bob Iger did, it's probably one of the first things that he did that was a good decision in a very, very long time. I'm not defending Bob Iger. I am a very big critic of the guy, but I'm just saying that this is probably one of the best things he's done in a long while, alongside of what he did by canceling the Jimmy Kimmel Live show indefinitely. Now, continuing on, they are on the edge of outright scrubbing the entire Jimmy Kimmel Live show if he continues to refuse to apologize to Kirk's family and refuses to give out any kind of donation. Shockingly, after his firing from Toy Story, this is when Kimmel said he would rather double down on his anti-Trump rhetoric, since he believes it's good for ratings with his own niche, and with his own base, essentially. Now, Disney executives had to inform Kimmel the hard way in a financial meeting that he is losing them millions of dollars annually. After Kimmel's firing from Toy Story 5, this is creating a minor delay with the film, and it's unclear if it will impact the release date or not. Kimmel is now being pushed and urged by Bob Iger to make an apology, either on camera, through social media, or televised, for the time slot of the Jimmy Kimmel live show. Now guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing yet again here, is that we all know that Jimmy Kimmel is really becoming an insufferable, I wouldn't even say becoming, let's be real, he's been insufferable as a talk show host, as a person, as a guy on television. Nobody wants to hear or see about this guy anymore. And we already know one thing about Jimmy Kimmel right now, is that when you're looking at a guy that just says the same repeated nonsense, these jokes that aren't even funny, all these political jokes about Trump this, Trump that, MAGA this, MAGA that, nobody wants to hear it anymore. Everyone's exhausted, and that's why the ratings have been going through a nosedive, and they have been for a long while now. So it's a no-brainer at this point when Disney and ABC get the chance to sit back and just witness what's going on right now. The market is speaking. I like to keep bringing this up right now, but ever since he was scrubbed, the market is speaking. You have a lot of people on both the left, right, and even in the center that are actually calling for Jimmy Kimmel to stay off the air after what he said about Charlie Kirk and Trump supporters. And to joke about that, even to actually lightly joke about something so early after someone's death, just goes to show you what kind of character Jimmy Kimmel really has. And he really is a very sick individual. But we know one thing about this, is that Bob Iger, the rest of the board of directors over there, they made this call. Bob Iger was the one to make the final call to take him off the air. So good call on him. Again, I'm not applauding Bob Iger by any means, generally speaking. I'm just saying that this is probably one of the very few good steps that he made, I would say in the past, like, 24 months, give or take, right around that time frame, for the Walt Disney Company. But moving onwards, alright, on top of that, Kimmel is still refusing to do that regardless of the financial readouts that the board informed him about his show, and it's already backfiring. So he's refusing to apologize, still to this day, and this is like day 2 now, where they've been pressuring him to make that apology, make a donation, make an apology, right? It's like a vicious cycle. They will not stop. They keep on pressuring Jimmy Kimmel to do that, and in turn, he actually acts like an insufferable individual against them, acting very inflammatory, acting very erratic toward Disney CEO Bob Iger and the board of directors over there. It is a vicious cycle of negativity going on right now over at Disney and ABC, and Jimmy Kimmel is pretty much the starting point of all of that. Especially for like the last quarter of 2025 as we approach. But one thing about all this that I think a lot of people will actually learn about is the fact that, yes, the majority of the market is speaking right now, and nobody wants Kimmel back. And if they do bring him back, shame on Disney and ABC, because I don't think anyone wants to see or hear about Kimmel ever again. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.